This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master Program, this is our 21st session. In this session, basically, we are going to see Edu Data Factory custom email notification. Right? So, email notification, our people are also asking, in case if the pipeline is failed, how you can send a custom notification. If the pipeline is succeeded, even if it is a succeeded also, I want to send a notification. How you can send a notification when pipeline succeeded or pipeline failed with a data factory name, pipeline name, from which date, in which data factory this particular pipeline is there, whether this pipeline is failed or succeeded, and what is the error message if it is failed. So all this information we are going to get it, friends. Okay, fine. Now you see, in today's session, we are going to learn scenarios, then logic app, because whatever notification you are going to send, those things we are going to send by using logic app. So in interview, people may ask, without logic app, can we send a notification? Yes, without using logic app, we have alerts. We can create the alerts in Data Factory, but those are not that much good. I will take one more session on only alerts which we can create in a Azure Data Factory. Okay, but those are not much customized. That's why we will go with the logic app. Okay, so today's session we will completely focus on the logic app. Next, so body for trigger. So body for trigger means what happens in logic app. The first step that you need to do is you need to create something called trigger. Trigger is nothing but the starting point. Okay, starting point to initiate your flow, to initiate your execution. Trigger is the initial point. So in this trigger, you have to say when you are executing, what all parameters you are expecting, what all parameters you want to pass. So example, I want to pass data factory name, I want to pass uh, let's say pipeline name, status, error message, all these things I want to pass. So all those things I will include in this particular body. Next, body for web activity. When I am calling this logic app, see, body for trigger means in a logic app I have defined all these parameters. Now for those parameters I need to pass the value. From where you will pass? When you are calling logic app from the Azure Data Factory, you need to pass the values to these parameters. How you will pass? So in web activity, by using web activity, you are going to call logic app. When you are calling web activity body, in the body, you need to pass the values for all the parameters. Next, estimations, prerequisites and the required resources. All these three, okay, I'm just going demo. So how to create SQL database, we are going to see how to create tables, okay, how to create logic app. Okay, because source table we need. Basically, we are going to copy data from SQL database to the blob storage. Once copy activity succeeded, I will send a notification. If copy activities failed, I want to send a notification. How to create logic app? So I'm going to show you how you can create logic app, how to create the blob storage. Basically, we are going to copy data from SQL database to the blob storage. Once I copy data from SQL database to the blob storage, if it is succeeded, I'm going to send a success notification by using logic app. If it is failure notification, I'm going to send by using logic app. Now we know data factory v2 we need to create the linked services for database and the blob storage by using integration runtime. We are going to create multiple data sets, pipeline. We can debug the pipeline or run pipeline, and we can finally monitor the pipeline. We are going to monitor this particular pipeline. Fine. Scenario C, how to copy data from Azure SQL database to the blob storage, we are going to cover today as well. Then how to send notification when pipeline execution succeeded. If the pipeline execution is succeeded, how to send a notification. How to send notification when pipeline execution failed. Okay. So in case pipeline failed, also we are going to send a notification. How to add parameters to notification. So basically what you can do is, without parameters also, simply you can say that pipeline failed. So nobody knows what pipeline. You might have hundreds of pipeline. Which pipeline failed? We don't know. That's why we need to add the parameters. We should know how to add parameters to notification. Next, how to add dynamic content to notification. So once you define this parameter, these parameters you need to use in the notification. Example, you will have a subject. You have something called body in a mail. So whenever you are sending a mail, right, email to, okay, to whom you want to send a mail. What is the subject? Do you want to CC anybody? Do you want to BCC anybody? Okay, so like that you have multiple things. So all those things you can able to define here. Next, web activity. Okay, so we are going to use the web activity today. Then we are also going to use the copy activity. I forgot to mention that, I think. Right. So copy data from SQL database to the blob storage. You know, in SQL Server we will have a database. In database, let's imagine we have a customer table. This customer table, I want to move it into the blob storage. First, I need to create a linker service. Then data sets I need to create. This data set will read the customer table. Then I will copy this data. So to load this data into blob storage, I need to create output data set. So to create output data set to reference to a blob storage path, we need to have a blob linker service. Okay. So once I have everything, I'm going to execute pipeline. A pipeline will keep this particular data in my blob storage. Who is going to do all these things? Azure integration runtime. Azure Data Factory will manage all these things. Okay. So I'm going a little bit fast, whatever I covered previously. Okay, fine. This you know already. Let's go with overview diagram. This is the overview diagram, friends. So first my copy activity will execute. If copy activity is successfully executed, this particular web activity will be called. If copy activity is failed, this particular web activity will call. See, failure notification, this is success notification. Understood? Now, what copy activity is doing? Copy activity will copy data from Azure SQL database to the blob storage. What web activity is doing? Call logic app to send success or failure notification. Okay, by using web activity, we are going to call logic app to send success or failure notification. I hope you are clear now, right? So logic app introduction. Now you see, logic app is a cloud service that helps you to schedule, automate, and orchestrate tasks, business processes, and workflows when you need to integrate apps, data, systems, and services across enterprise or organizations. Basically, by using logic app, you can able to schedule it. What kind of schedule is? Whenever some file is updated, I want to run a pipeline. Whenever some file is deleted, I want to run a pipeline. So from the logic app also, you can able to call the pipelines. Okay. Next, every logic app workflow starts with a trigger. That's what as I said, even though you are calling logic app from the web activity, when you call a logic app, if you want to start execution of logic app, you need to have a trigger. That trigger can be, you can schedule it. That trigger you can schedule it. It can be some kind of a URL. By using that URL, you can make a API calls. Understood, friends? Trigger can be a scheduled, or it can be HTTP trigger, where you will get a URL. When you just access that URL, that logic app will be called. Okay. See, every logic app workflow starts with a trigger. What is the this trigger? Which fires when a specific event happens. What event happens whenever some file deleted, whenever some file updated, some specific event happened. So which fires, what it is going to fire? It is going to fire the logic app execution. Okay, or when new available data meets specific criteria. So example, when you have loaded new data, it identified some new data added to the system. Then based on your condition, the condition met, it will start the execution of your logic app. Okay, fine. Now you see, for example, here are just few workloads you can automate with logic apps. What all you can automate? See, process and route orders across on-premise systems and cloud services. So you can able to put some kind of if-else condition. You can route the traffic. Okay, if this condition met, you do this. If this condition met, you do this. Okay, you can send a email notification. Okay, by using Office 365. You can able to send a notification when event happens in various systems, apps, and services. So in today's session, what we are going to do, in whenever my copy activity succeeded from Azure Data Factory, then I'm going to send a email notification. Okay, move uploaded files from an SFTP or FTP server to the Azure storage. This is also possible. So somebody was asking, can we copy data from one storage to the another storage in a Azure Data Factory without creating linked service? Yes, that is possible, because you just call a logic app from the Azure Data Factory. Logic app is going to do, ADF will not do, but from ADF you are going to call the logic app. In a backend, logic app is going to copy the data. That is also one of the interview question, I guess. Okay, somebody reached me for that. Monitor tweets for a specific subject, analyze the sentiment, and create alerts or tasks for items that need review. So example, you will say something, whenever you uploaded some video which is not following the YouTube policies, then they will say we are going to review this video, right? So whenever you commented something, they are going to, so you will see sometimes this message will be reviewed. Why? Because they will see some kind of a keywords. Whenever you identify some keywords, okay, so those keywords will hurt people. So that's why what Twitter is going to do, those tweet messages or whatever videos you are posting, those things will not be available to the public immediately. Once the client has reviewed, once the people has reviewed, once they approved, then only that will be available to the public. Okay, such type of things also you can able to do. Now example, you see logic app, so something like this you will have here. Okay, when a record is updated, your let's say when record is updated, you have XML file, that XML file you are transforming. Okay, then you are registering in data mark. If record requires action, suppose you are saying maybe you need to let's say transform this, you transformed and you want to arrange it in a something like row, maybe you have a nested XML something, so you want to transform and you want to put it in some table. For that, what you need to do, further action is required. If action is required, true, okay, create a new record and do something. If the action is not required, you go to false and execute something. Okay, so whatever happened, whether it is a true or false, finally you are going to send a email notification. So something like that, step by step process we need to define, step by step process we need to define, that we are going to see. Next, body for trigger. See, when you are creating a trigger in logic app, you are going to give all these properties, something like this: properties, data factory name, what kind of value you are going to pass, string, email to whom you want to send, string, subject string, pipeline name string, activity name string, status string, error message string. Okay, type equal to object, because we have a multiple values, all these values you can consider as a some object. Properties type is object. Okay, remember, properties type is object, and all these like data factory name, all these are the string type. Okay, you can say type equal to string. Okay, clear? Fine. And now we'll do one thing. What we do is, okay, now you see, so body for web activity. So if it is a failure, so you need to send something like that. If it is a succeeded, you need to send something like this. If we say if it is a failure, only change that you see is subject, an error has occurred, and then you see error message, the ADF pipeline has crashed and please check the logs. And status, anyhow dynamically it will come. If it is failed, if it is a succeeded, successful, it will come. Next, when it comes to the success, see the subject is pipeline finished, error message is everything is okay. Okay, so something like that we are going to pass the body for our web activity. Next, estimations, you know how many linked service. For each Azure SQL database, one linked service. For each storage, one linked service we are going to create. Data sets, depends on the reference points, we need to create data sets. How many activities? One copy activity is required to copy data from Azure SQL database to the blob storage. After copy activity, I want to send a notification. That's why I'm going to use a web activity. Next, how many pipelines we are going to use? One pipeline. Type of wire we are going to use Azure integration runtime, because still we are moving data within the cloud. Okay, prerequisites, what is Azure SQL database, what is blob, logic app, okay, what is the Azure data factory integration runtime, linked service, data set, data activity pipeline, all these things we discuss. So you have all the knowledge of on these services. So with this knowledge we can go and do the today lab. In today lab, the required resources are SQL server, SQL database, blob storage, logic app, and the Azure data factory v2. Okay, these 5 resources I need to create. Okay, any questions, friends, before I go and do the demo? Any questions? Okay, if no questions, let me just proceed. Fine. Now come here. Let's create one by one, so we need a SQL database. Let's go to the SQL database, click on SQL database. So when I'm creating SQL database, SQL server also I will create on the fly. Just click add to create the SQL database. So free trial resource group is, let's create new. You can say cloud funded BI master program. Click OK. So database name, I will say cloud funded SQL DB. I want to create a server. The database and server relation. Server will take request and it will modify the data based on your request. Okay. So let me enter username here. Password. In east-west, click OK. Remaining things I'm not explaining because already SQL Elastic Pool means all the databases will share the resources. These database you can purchase in two ways. One is DTUs and another one is vCore. We are going with the DTUs database transactional units. Click OK. Now come to second tab. So when you create simply like that, you will see a empty database. If you want some adventure database, some sample data, you can select the adventure database that already, right? So here, let me create the blob storage. Click on storage account. Click add storage account. Free trial, this one, the resource group is the one which we have created, Cloud Pandit VI master program. Storage name, Cloud Pandit storage. Okay, remaining everything keep as it is. Click review plus create. Create it. Click come here. Say portal.azure.com. Okay, in this data factory, let's create a avatar service data factory. Click add to create data factories. Your resource group is Cloud Pandit VI master program and name is Cloud Pandit ADF V2. Yeah, I think this is taken by somebody. BI ADF V2. This should be available. Yes, it is available. Click Git configuration. We will configure it later. Click review plus create. Running final validation. You can create this. Fine. Come here. Let's create our final service, that is logic app. Logic app. Just click on logic app. Click add logic app. Just search here as well. You will get a logic apps. Okay. Click add. So free trial resource group is same. So this is the new service which we are creating today. You see here subscription, resource group, logic app name for this service. I'm saying Cloud Pandit logic app. Okay. Next. So do you want to select region or integral service environment? Integral service environment means, so you already created this, but it's not based on the particular region. It's based on the from where you are sending the notification. Let's say if you're going with the region, you'll have a multiple regions. Okay, you just select in from which region. We know we are basically going with the location. You just go with location. Log analytics is basically whatever actions is happening with respect to the logic app. Okay, so those actions will be sent it to the another service called log analytics. Here you can see here there is another service called log analytics. you see log analytics workspace. Understood? So in that log analytics service, all the logs will be, we are going to send the all logs. If you turn on this, it will ask you to select the log analytics workspace. What it means is whatever things you are doing in Logic App, all those logs will be sent to the log analytics workspace. If you want to analyze those logs, example, some X person is accessed this logic app, how many times this X person is accessed this logic app, how many times logic app sent a mail. So all these things, if you want to analyze, so since how long particular error is coming, if you want to analyze all these things, you can able to do it through the logs. These logs will be sent it to the log analytics. Okay, there you can able to do all these things. Tags, you know, key value page, you can just leave as this, click plus there. Now just click create here. Now logic app is also deployed. Let's go back to SQL database. See, your deployment is completed. Go to resource. We know what we need to do. First thing, let's click on set server firewall. Click add client IP. See, client IP added. Turn on this. You know, all other Azure services you are allowing to access this server. Okay. Once this is done, we need to connect to the SQL database from Azure Data Studio. Okay, but you can also use the SSMS. Okay, it is up to you. I just open the Azure Data Studio. Now go to date here, resource, select the server name, take this server name. Okay, come here, let it open. Okay, it is opening. Now see, just come here, welcome. Welcome, you can see new connection. If you want to establish new connection, simply say that new connection. You know, this is the Microsoft SQL server name is this. I just copied. It's not a Windows authentication. I want to go with SQL authentication. Let me enter my username and my password here. Okay, so after that, database name, you know, Cloud Pandit SQL DB is our database. Let's try to connect it. If you want to see Cloud Pandit SQL DB or not, you see it says Cloud Pandit SQL DB only. Now I'm trying to connect. Yes, I'm able to connect it. So now you see it's a green. Green means connected. Okay, now just expand this. It will come down. Sorry. See, all the tables, views, everything came, but you know there is no tables, there is no views, no stored procedure, right? So I want to execute query. How you can do that? Just to see your new query is there. Just click on new query. Okay. So select a database. To which database you want to connect. So this is the database. Just click that. Otherwise, you can also open a query. Just right click on not this one. Right click on this database. You see new query. You can click on this. New window will open. So wherever you want to write the query, you can write. So this is how you can open a new query. This is how you can open the new query. Fine. So let's try to write the query. So first thing that I want to do is I want to keep a some table ready. So that's why create a table cast. Okay. CAD int cname varchar. Let me just check whether we have a yesterday table. Oh, yesterday also we have not created here. Directly we created here. Okay, let's go here. See location. I will not waste much time. Let's go with here. Custom table, insert into cast. I'm directly executing all these things. CID is one. C name is something Rama. C location Bangalore. Because our main intention is not data or something. So our main intention is I want to run a copy activity. If we succeeded, I want to send a notification. Okay, so that is our Krishna is from Hyderabad. Okay, let me just give. Let me take one more record. 3, 5. Okay, something like that. Let's just execute everything at once. Table will create. These 3 records will be inserted into that table. See, 3 rows affected now. Fine. Let's do one thing. Let's remove this. Now select star from first. Let's execute it and see the data. You see these three are the records which I have in my custom table. Okay, this is enough for our database. Okay, I don't want to do anything else in my database. Let's come to target, go to resource, click on containers. See, I don't have any container. Even though I don't have any container, I don't want to create container from here. I will create container from data factory. Come to data factory, click on go to resource, click on author and monitor. Okay, come to this. Yeah, what we need to do, we need to create the linked services. Let's do all those things quickly. Okay, in linked services, we know our source is SQL database. Let's create a linked service for SQL database. Let's click Azure SQL database, continue. This is basically ls underscore Azure SQL DB. Okay, we know auto resolve integration runtime I'm going to use. Through subscription, I'm going to identify my server. So once server is identified, you can able to select your database. Let me enter username and password here. Let's test the connection. I think password is wrong. 1 second. Yeah, connection successful. You can create it. Okay, fine. So tomorrow I will show you Key Vault. Okay, just click new linked service. Here, let's focus on yeah, blob storage. We need to create a linked service for blob storage. You know, ls Azure blob storage. You know, auto resolve integration runtime, account key subscription is free trial, storage account name is basically Cloud Pandit storage. Test connection is successful. You can create it. Okay, let's come to author tab. Let's create a pipeline, or let's create data sets quickly. Data sets are SQL data base selected. SQL DB is my source. Is the existing connection. Okay, so this table name I want to pass dynamically. Okay, that's why I'm not creating anything. Just click OK. In the same way, now how you will create dynamic data set, dynamic parameter in the data set. See parameter, click new. Here you need to say two things, right? Schema name and table name. Okay, come to connections. Let's click edit. We need to select the schema here. Please let me know, friends, if anybody is not clear, because yesterday and like in many sessions I covered all these things, so that's why I'm going a little bit fast. Okay, let's create a new data set, that is blob storage. Click continue. As a CSV, let me load this. You can say ds for Azure blob storage as sync. Use the connection this connection. So I don't want to give the container name now. I want to provide container name dynamically. Click first as header. Say as you don't have any data, you cannot import schema. Just click OK. Now for sync dataset, I want to create parameters. Click parameters. Here you need to say container name. Let's say file name. Okay. Come here. Let's select container name here. Okay. Select file name here. Click. Okay. Fine. Now come to pipeline. Let's say pipeline. This pipeline is basically data movement only, not transformation. So you can say PL data Here you need to say SQL DB2 Azure blob storage. Just come here, copy data. First let's drag the copy data. Copy data name I will say with copy SQL DB2 Azure blob storage. Okay, fine. Come to source. Let's select our source is this. Sync is this. Okay. So, but the parameters for these two data sets, how you are going to pass parameters. So I don't want hard code here also. I want to create a pipeline parameters. Through pipeline parameters, I want to create total 4. Yeah, I just opened 4. Okay, here you can say schema name, pp schema, pp table, pp table. You understand, right? So pp table means pipeline parameters, container, pp file name. Okay, these things I will use in my data sets. Come here and container name. Container name means you come here, say pp container name. So file name. How you will pass file name? pp file name. Come to source. Schema name. Schema name is going to be pp schema. Table name. Table name is going to be pp table. Okay. So I just passed schema name, table name here, container name, all those things. Let's click debug. You know it is going to work. Let's say this is dbo, this is cust data, cust.csv. Okay, let's click OK. We'll see this is going to successful or not. This will be succeeded. Yeah, it is successfully executed. Come here, let's refresh. Go inside cust data folder. Just click on cust.csv. The data will be there in a csv format. You see data came, everything including headers. Okay, fine. Now I want to delete this folder. Let's click on this, click delete, click OK. Okay, this is deleted. Come here now. Now I want to use logic app to send a success notification if it is succeeded. If it is failed, failure notification. For that, we need to prepare our logic app. Okay, we need to prepare our logic app. Just click on go to resource. See, by default, when you open automatically, it will open logic app designer. But let's go back. You see, if you're able to see something like this. Okay. Okay, here you see, if you're seeing this page, in this you can see logic app designer, logic app code view. So if you want to view the code after designing, you can able to view the code. Okay, let's go and design the logic app. This is also UI. You no need to write any coding. So just simply come down. So I don't want to use the existing templates. We have a multiple templates. See, when a new tweet is posted, so directly they have everything ready. These are the templates to identify whenever new tweet is posted, right? Something like that. You have a multiple templates, but I want a blank logic because I want to start everything from scratch. First thing that I have shown you in the slides is whatever you do in logic app, what you need is trigger is the first step that you need to take. What kind of trigger? So I am going to use a URL. I need a URL. By using that URL, I am going to call this logic app. To get URL, you need to ask HTTP trigger. Just to say HTTP. See request. So do you want to request? Yes, I want to request. What kind of request? When a HTTP request is received. So I'm going to make a HTTP request to logic app. Okay. So whenever I make HTTP request to logic app, that request is received by logic app. See, when a HTTP request is received, meaning but that API, by using that URL, whenever I call logic app will receive that request, HTTP request. Just select this. See, URL will be generated after save. But for this particular, when I am calling this particular logic app, I will pass some values. What values I want to pass? Those things you need to define here. So first here, properties, okay, colon here. Fine. So what you need to do here, you need to say what type of properties of type is properties of type equal to properties of type equal to, you need to say here it's a object. It's basically type is object because it will have a multiple values in it. Now in this I'm going to put multiple values again. I want to take first thing I want to take is data factory name. Okay, data factory name I want to take. So you need to say what type of parameter it is. The type you need to define here. The type is going to be something like this, type equal to string. Okay. Same friends, just put comma here. Okay, just same thing, you just copy paste. Sometimes as many times as you want. So this is data factory name. Here I want to say email to whom I want to send the email. Next here pipeline name, instead of data factory name you can say pipeline name, but types are same. Okay, next pipeline name is completed. Here I will say error message, data factory name I will not data factory, here I will take status. Okay, anything else you want to take, data factory name, email to, pipeline name. Do you want to send run id? Yes, you can send the run id as well. Just paste one more time. Okay, this is run id. Okay, once this is done, this is the last tag, just remove the comma because when you have a multiple values you need to put like this, otherwise just leave that. Okay friends, this is clear now. I think this one we need to say these are the different objects. Okay, now you see I just defined all these things: properties, data factory name, email to, pipeline name, okay, status, run id, all these things I defined. Okay, do one thing, just copy these things and paste it into your notepad. It will be easy for you to review. See, you just open data factory name, email to, pipeline name, all these things. Okay, this is okay. Now URL will be generated after you save. Just click save. Now with this you have created the trigger. Okay, this is the trigger. I will just take this URL. I will call this logic app. When I take this URL to call this logic app, what happens is I will use this URL to call this logic app. When I call, this logic app will be called. When this request is received, first step is it will request these all values as well. These are the different parameters. So whenever you are calling APIs, I'm not sure how many of you know API, but see, whenever you are making some API calls, right, this kind of HTTP triggers, you need to mention the method. So there are different methods, but mainly there are two methods we use in basically in most of the cases: get and post. Post is secure. Whenever you are posting your details, you need to go with the post method. It's a secure. Example, Gmail. Whenever you are logging into the Gmail, what you do basically, whenever you are logging into the Gmail, what you will do is you will enter something called username and password, right? That username and password you are going to send it to the server to authenticate whether you have entered correct username and password. So for that we need to use a post method. Okay, post method is basically secure. It will securely take your username and password. Nobody can able to see. If it is a get method, what happens is username and password will be shown in this URL. Anybody can able to see username and password. That's why whenever you are posting some data, you need to go with post. Now you see here I am just sending some information. Whenever I am sending some information, whenever I am posting some information, you need to go with the post method. A name itself suggests post. Whenever you are posting, then you need to go with the post method. Okay, I received the HTTP request. Okay, I received the HTTP request. What you want to do? I want to send a next step. You need to send new step. My next step is, see, this is the first step you defined when a HTTP request is received. I received the request. What logic app is to do? Logic app received the request, but what logic app is to do is it has to send a notification. It can be Gmail or Outlook or based on your company mail IDs we will configure. But here we will go with Gmail. Okay, simply you can type here Gmail, it will come. Gmail, it will come. Okay, if you want Outlook, just type Outlook. You see, Outlook.com, Office 365, Outlook Task. Okay, multiple things are there. Now let's go with the Gmail. Just select Gmail. So you know, right? So whenever you want to send, whenever you want, so Gmail in this, do you want to send a email or you want to give a reply to email, move email to trash, get email details, delete email? So when you receive this request, when you receive HTTP request, what you want to do? You are saying Gmail. With Gmail, what you want to do? Do you want to delete some mail? Do you want to send a email? Or what you want to do? I want to send a email. Just select this. Okay. Now let's say, can you tell me if you want to send a mail, what is the first step? You need to log in into your mail ID. First step is you need to log in into your email ID. In the same way, now first I need to log in into my mail ID to send a notification. Okay, how you will log in into your mail ID is, okay, just here click on sign in. This still redirecting. One second. Okay, now you see you have a mail IDs. Okay, from which mail ID you want to send a mail? Let's say @cloudpundit@gmail.com. From this mail I want to send a notification. So to that mail you need to log in. With that mail you need to log in. Hello. Basically, I already logged in into those mails. That's why it is allowing me to select. If you are not logged in into any mail, it will ask you to enter username and password. Okay, you need to enter username and password. Remember. As I already logged in, it is showing the existing mail ID. Once I clicked in, automatically it will sign in because already I have provided my username and password. Okay, this is done. Now, whatever mails you are going to receive, all those mails you are going to receive from cloudpundit@gmail.com. Now you see to whom you want to send. So, or to, I want to add new parameters. See what all parameters you want to include here. So I want to have a subject in my mail. I want to have a body in my mail. Do you want attachment CC, BCC, importance? No, I want only subject and body. Anyhow, you have a to address here. Okay, let's select a to. Okay, now you see here, we can't find any output to match this input format. Select see mode to see all outputs from previous action. From this particular action, if you that particular trigger or that particular action, you want to see all the output, just click on see mode. See here all the things which are. So what, to whom you want to send mail, that is email to. This is the parameter you need to select. Click on email. Oh, sorry, it is selected here. So you need to put your cursor at 2 and come down. Sorry, click on see more here. You see email to, just select email to. This will go and keep it here. Now I want to send a subject. Subject, I want something like pipeline name. Oh shit, I just removed subject. Let's attach subject. Yeah, yeah, subject is here. Now you see what you want to do in my subject is basically in subject I want to put send a detail something like this: pipeline name colon pipeline name colon status. Okay, status. So this is going to be my subject. Okay, for that, come click on subject, come down. First you need to select pipeline name. Okay, this is a pipeline name. So colon you will not get dynamically, just type colon as it is. After that you want status. So just click status. Okay, pipeline colon status. Now go to body. In body, you want to put something like this, right? So what I want to do, data factory name colon. I want to give the data factory name. Next, pipeline name equal to this one. Status equal to this. Next, run ID is this. Error message. What else you want to send? Status. Status you already sent, right? Data factory name, pipeline name, status, run ID, error. I think we forgot to take the activity name. Okay, that's okay. Data factory name, pipeline name, status, run ID. What else we have taken here in parameters? You see here. It will be difficult to view from here. Let's go to notepad. Anyhow, we copied data factory name, email to, pipeline name, error message, status, and run ID. So I have taken almost 5 things, right? So 5 things I have taken. So now data factory name I want to send. So now what happens if in this, right? If you're passing body something like this, in your email body, you will get something like this. Data factory name equal to data factory, actual name will come here. Pipeline name, actual name will come. How actual names will come? You need to use the parameter. Okay, just click add dynamic content. Here, see more. In this, you need to select the data factory name. Is the first. For pipeline name, you have to select pipeline name. Next, for status, you need to select status. Next, run ID, you need to select run ID. Next, for error, you need to say error message. Okay, you see, you have all these things. Okay, you have all this information. Now save it. Okay, that's all you need to do. You are saving, right? See, email to whom you want to send a mail. That particular mail you will configure it in your mail in your data factory. So all this information we need to provide when we are sending the mail. Okay, next, these are the subject. Fine. Now with this, what you need is in this, select this HTTP. This URL you need copy this URL. Go to data factory. After this copy activity, I will call it something called web activity. Just call web activity. Bring the web activity here. So let's say on success scenario, let's say this is basically success notification. Okay, come to settings. You need to paste URL here. Then you need to select a method. Can you tell me what method we have selected? Tell me what method we have selected, friends.
Post.
No, we selected post. See, when you select a post, it is requesting for body. In this body, what all things you need to provide? So these all, for all these parameters, you need to pass the values. Okay, what it means is, let me just show you. Okay, so first I need to give the data factory name, like something like this. You remove this. So for these parameters, I need to provide the values now. Just I will tell you. This is the easiest way to understand. Now you see, these are the like all body parameters. So these things, data factory name I need to pass dynamically, email to I need to pass, pipeline name, all these things. Okay, run ID, select all these things. Now keep it here. It will be difficult if you keep it here for you to understand. That's why I will just form everything here, then I will post it there. Data factory name. How to get data factory name? Just click add dynamic content, click on data factory name. So this is how you are going to get the data factory name dynamically. You have to say here in double quotes. Okay. You know, right? This should be enclosed with curly braces. Okay, so this is the query you need to pass it, so that data factory name dynamically will be passed to this particular parameter. Data factory name will be assigned to this particular parameter. Now email to email, I will simply configure. Let's configure one of our person. Whoever is interested, can you post your mail ID? I'll just include here. A pipeline name. So how to get the pipeline name? So pipeline name, I will come here. Click on pipeline name. This is your pipeline. Just copy it. Whoever is interested, please post your mail ID. I will include here. You will receive mail. Okay. Yeah, Murali has provided. Fine. Error message. What error message I will say? This is for success scenario, right? I will simply say pipeline succeeded. Okay. Next, status. So status basically you can get it from the copy activity. Run ID you can get it from the this one. Run ID just select it. This is the run ID. Okay. Next, email to. I'll just configure our people mail ID. Let's say, let me configure Murali. Okay. Next, status. Okay, status is basically you need to get it dynamically. How you'll get it dynamically? So for that, come down, select your copy activity dot status. Here. Okay, this is done. Now you just have to put the comma, and whenever you are making HTTP calls, you need to pass all these parameters in the JSON format. That's why curly braces at the front and back. Okay, this is for the success scenario. Just add this thing here as a body where you need to add here. Just I'm pasting everything. Okay, this is done. Okay, let's test this. If this is succeeded, we will go to the our failure scenario. Okay, let's click on debug. So p schema, dbo is a cust. PP container name, I can say container name is test data only, test.csv. Click OK. Okay, so success notification is sent to Murali. So Murali, can you confirm, have you received it or not?
Yes, I will check.
You received it, right? So now I want to show you the result to all of you. So that's why what I will do, cloudpandit@gmail.com, to same mail ID I want to send a notification because I want to show you output to all of you. That's why this time I want to send a notification to same thing. Okay, just post it, just click debug. You need to provide the values here. dbo
Mail came, sir. All 5 details with the 5 details.
Okay, fine. So this is first data, this is custard.csv. Okay, now I will just click OK. Before I click OK, what I need to do, I will just open my mail ID. Just give a minute. Okay, see now, I don't have anything, right? Now I will just say, where is data factory? Come here. Yeah, just click OK. See, my things are going to work now. The copy activity will execute, then mail will trigger. Let's go to mail. Here, refresh this. So you will see immediately mail will come. You just keep refreshing. In a minute or 30 seconds, you should get it. Just now it is finished, I guess. See now. So Cloud Pandit to Cloud Pandit, that's why it is showing something. But now you see, this is the pipeline name. It is saying status is succeeded. Okay, from whom you received, this is the mail. Okay, to me, same mail ID you received. That's why. Okay, next. Data factory name. Data factory name is this one. Okay, pipeline name is this one, and status is succeeded. Run ID is this. Error is pipeline succeeded. Okay, there is no error. Pipeline is succeeded. Clear? In the same way, I want to go with the failure scenario. Okay, fine. Let's come down. Not only these, friends, you can include as many details as you want in your mail. Depends on your requirement. Okay, based on that. Just now what I will do, just clone this on failure, right click on this, failure, select this copy activity and say failure notification. So whenever something fail, right, so what you want to do, I want to send it failure notification. Come to settings. So here something failed, then I need to change the content. I need to change, right? Something failed. If it is a fail, the content should be pipeline is failed. Okay, run ID, all these things we are going to receive dynamically. Okay, let's execute this. Okay, now I want to make sure my pipeline is failed. Okay, my pipeline is failed. How you can make your pipeline failed is very simple. Just click debug. Here I will just give the table name which is not there. Let's give emp. Then container name cust data. This is cust.csv only. Just click OK. Okay, now what happened? Your copy activity failed, web activity called. Let's go here. We have received again. So it is saying this time this pipeline is failed. Data factory name is this, pipeline name is this, status is failed, run ID is this, and pipeline is failed. Okay, fine. We received. Now the question one of our person is asking, is there a way it automatically takes those parameters you pass in the last when the click on debug, right? So what he is asking, whenever I just click debug, it is asking me to provide the values. Is there any way we can automate? Because in real time we are not going to run manually. We are going to create a triggers. In trigger you can keep the values. If you keep the values in trigger, it is not going to ask you. So from the trigger it will pick every time. Okay, trigger also automatically run your pipeline. Okay, so that part is pending, right? So we are going to discuss one by one everything I'm covering, friends. Okay, just you need to wait some more time. Okay, clear, friends? Everybody's clear?
Sir, we can send one more mail at a time. Instead of one person, we can send more 4 or 5 mails for sending
Yes,
the details.
yes, you can able to send it. Let's say, let's go to success notification. I think in that case, you need to define the data type array and all those things. Okay. So here, because you define the email to a string, right? So it will just accept one value. So if you want to try that, let me just. But if you define the list, you can able to do. Example, let's say I need to modify everything. It will take some time. Like whoever is interested, they can stay back, friends. I'll just show you. See here, let's say all these things. Even let's say I'm just not. So for easiest thing, what I'm doing is not considering email to. What I will do directly, I will hard code it all email IDs. That is possible. Let me just take Manohar and your mail ID. Both will. I can able to trigger a. That is the advantage of your logic. You can send mail to multiple people at a time. Even I can send it to the. Oh, you deleted Murli. Okay, fine.
No, sir, I didn't delete it.
But where is that? Your mail ID is not visible here. Okay, fine. So I'll just trigger mail to these two. Let's say just put here. One second. Yeah, see, a list of valid email addresses separated by a semicolon or comma. Both you can use. Comma you can use or semicolon you can use. Okay, I'm just putting semicolon. You can save this. Now you see when I run my pipeline, okay, doesn't matter whether you are sending email to value or not, it is going to trigger a mail to both of us because I just outputted those things instead of passing. You can just click debug. Even if it is a success scenario or failure scenario, both same. Manohar, can you check your mail? So now you will receive mail. See, copy activity succeeded. Your web activity is executing. Web activity is also succeeded. Let me just go here and check my email. Let's refresh.
Yes, sir, got it.
But why I did not get? I entered correct one only, right? One second. I entered correct one only. Cloud pandit@gmail.com. Use correct only. Save it. Why I did not get? Let me just trigger once again. And this is succeeded. Both succeeded now. Let's see. At least now I got it. Now I got. You got Manohar again.
Yeah, got it, sir.
Again, second time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how you can configure multiple mail IDs as well. Murali. Clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Only thing is
But
this parameter. If you want to pass dynamically, instead of posting, you need to put some type is array. In that array, you need to pass one by one items. Okay.
in real time, we will send these notification through Outlook or the Office 365, right?
Yes, Office 365 only.
So we will follow the same steps.
Yes, we will follow same steps. Okay. Okay, clear, friends. Okay then. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you.